Hey everyone, Pupsker here, and today we have the Warframe weekly reset for November 23rd to November 30th. And we actually have a lot of general update news this week, mainly with the Warframe Devstream coming Friday, as well as Android closed beta coming Friday. So it's kind of like a double wombo combo there, where we get to learn all about the next Warframe update, the release date, Uriel's new moveset, like all of his abilities. We get to learn about that new game mode, not just the tower game mode. So pretty good. And if you've signed up or haven't already, go sign up for Android closed beta if you want to, right? Yeah, Devstream 199, Old Peace starts Friday, and the regular stuff there. So, without further ado, let's continue on, and as always, if you want to support the channel, sub, like, and Epic Games creator code Pupsker, as I am an Epic partner, if you use that game store. We also have the Archon hunt, and it is the Subdue Archon Naira. So you can get a yellow Archon shard. Usually I just use those ones for like ability speed, cast speed, right? Either way, do it if you need to, don't if you don't need to. Yeah, it's up to you, but a lot of good updates are coming this Friday, so be ready. Other than that, we continue on to the Circuit Steel Path, and as you can see, it's actually a pretty good week. We have the Bow Incarnon, Latrin Incarnon, Furus Incarnon, Furix Incarnon, and the Strun Incarnon. I swear, I think I've made a Latrin video before, but maybe I haven't. I really need to make some more videos on some of these weapons because they are really good. Yeah, okay, I've made a Latrin video before. Love the Latrin Incarnon myself. Bow Incarnon's also pretty cool because it gets a big range increase. People really like the Furus Incarnon because, again, a lot of these are really strong. Heat weapon, damage beam in Incarnon form, so people like wide range beam weapons. Furix is pretty interesting. It slams leaving fire around and it just turns into, as always, a stronger melee. And then the Strun Incarnon, fire staggering explosive projectiles, so it's also pretty fun, okay? We have a lot of good memes this week. I personally would probably pick something like Latrin for a gun and Bow for a melee. If not, probably Latrin, Furus, Strun, Bow, and then Furix is my last thing, but that's my personal preference. As always, choose whatever you want. All of these are good one way or another if you plan to use them. But again, the reason why the bow is such a lovely weapon is because of that +4 range right there. Oh my god, it's so good, okay? And then you get general boosts there, parry angle, what have you. You can even get more range, movement speed and stuff like that off Evolution 3. And then Evolution 4 is like some slash status on impact, and then just crit, status, and then status. So you can't go full crit with this thing, but you can give it 34% status and then, you know, ton of status. Do something with that if you want. Latrin's great. Fire, explosive, bounces off everything pretty much. So you have really strong boosts and multi-shot and stuff like that off that one. Pretty decent mid Evolution 3s with like magazine or recoil or something. Usually that's what I choose. And then boom, either bitchin' crit damage increase or an awesome deadhead headshot damage boost. So it's so awesome. Or you could use it as like a puncture status armor remover, but like why would you bother using it for that, right? Either way, it's still a great weapon. Here we have the Furus Incarnon, one that I haven't used enough, let's be real, but like, hey, wide range beam weapons are pretty cool, and both of them have like pretty interesting stuffs with overshields, the first one, so it's like more damage, and then hitting enemies affected by electricity status, you gain a ton of multi-shot. So obviously you're either going to build for electricity or use this weapon on electricity warframes such as Volt or what have you, Gauss maybe. Well, Gauss is electricity in my mind, but maybe a little less electricity. Maybe something more like Gyre, okay. So Evolution 3 here is pretty decent with accuracy, magazine or headshot stuff. And then the last evolution is just that's weird, right? On headshot fire rate, or if shots are fired with low crit chance, get a huge crit damage, or base status. So Maybe not the best evolution for, but you can do some goofy crit shenanigans. Now, for the Furyx, they're just a good melee weapon with a good slam. 10% attack speed per enemies within 6 meters, stacks up to 5x. That one's really cool, right? Like that one a lot. You can also get some range on Evolution 3, which I usually prefer to take with these sort of weapons. And then on the final one, you can do very specific playstyles. Slash status effects on impact, cool, or you can increase your status itself, or increase base critical damage multiplier to 4x on slide attacks. Yeah, that's sounding pretty good. Lastly, here we have the Strun, which is a great fire staggering explosive projectiles type of weapon. So the first upgrade on it does good damage, right? But on firing, +5 base multi-shot, stacks up to 5x. That one's probably the most interesting, or with channeled ability active, gains a ton of punch through. So a lot of shenanigans you can do there, but I probably would just take that +5 base multi-shot. Oh well. Here we have reload, hitting targets with electricity, restores ammo or projectile speed, nothing massive. And then the final one, you have status, or base status in Incarnon form, okay. Base critical chance, or base critical chance, base status chance per projectile, and base status chance for Incarnon form. So yeah, you can either go for crit, status, or crit and status with definitely a weird shenanigansy setup going on, but my god is it great. And then you can always choose like these rifles here, so Riven mods, right? So not too bad with Warframe Incarnons this week by any means. Great weapons. If we look at the regular circuit, we have Ash, Frost, and Nyx. I don't think any of them are the worst. I think Ash might actually be the worst out of all of these ones, because you can farm him on Neptune Proxima, Neptune, Pluto, and Venus. Okay, he is purely available. They moved him over from regular Warframe missions over to Railjack missions, so kind of a pain to farm just because the drop chances are really low. But if you run all of Warframe in Railjack, there's a decent enough chance you'll probably get his whole set, because it is all a drop rotation, so could be worse, could be better, but he's definitely still kind of a huge pain in the ass to farm. Frost, on the other hand, is very simply Captain Vor and Lech Krill on Ceres, so it's a little easier to get Frost done. I would 100% probably choose, yeah, probably would choose Ash out of this one if I was you, but you know, if you don't want to, you do not want to. Nyx, on the other hand, can be defeated from forward on assassination missions during an infested invasion, so you do have to farm the forward manifestation. If you haven't farmed Nyx yet, it might just be worth doing that, but it's really up to you. I'm not a huge player of a lot of these Warframes this week, but they are really good if you want to play their kits specifically or look up some online builds for them. I would say they're all pretty cool. Ash is an interesting frame. I like Frost with like little crits and everything. And Nyx can be functionally pretty much invincible while she kills everything because of how her general abilities work and whatnot. So, interesting times, but good Warframes all around. Farm them if you want, don't farm if you don't want to. Yeah, it's really up to you. Now, on to the next thing in Warframe today, which is Warframe Nightwave, everybody. Oh, nice. Looks like I got up to rank 8. I should actually do a stream where I get all of my Nightwave done, because I've been falling behind a bit since I've been playing a lot of Where Winds Meets. Daily reminder, check out any of the Where Winds Meets videos or streams, because I've been farming a lot of RPG shenanigans. Either way, dailies, slide, complete mission, deploy air support charge, simple stuff, right? They want you to clear Railjack boarding party without your Warframe taking damage. Okay, just play as either an invincible Warframe, Revenant, or, I don't know, something that doesn't take damage. Invisible, right? Yeah, who knows. Help Clem with his weekly mission, open one of each relic type, Lith, Meso, Neo-Axi, win 3 wagers in a row without letting the enemy score 1 match in the index, okay, kill Eximus units, complete missions, and then kill 500 enemies. So all normal stuff there. Not bad, not bad. If we take a look at everything one by one, Efficient Beams, Convectrix mod, Steel Charge, Bursting Mass for the Mutilus Quanta, not bad, not bad. Shield Disruption, Photon Overcharge for the Glaxian if you want it. Dizzying Rounds for the Bronco, Corrosive Projectile, or Projection, Deceptive Bond on Loki, Purifying Flames on Ember, Shrapnel Rounds on the Malak, or Tetra Focused Acceleration. If we look at all the appearance items, yep, we have a lot of helmets, weapon skin, you know, the usual stuff there. And then last is Miscellaneous with some general cool stuff, the usual Orkin Catalyst reactors, and 2 swords this week, Ceramic Dagger blueprint, ooh, great if you want to get the Incarnon set up for that, and the Dark Dagger. Either way, good, the Dark Dagger, right? Good for mastery rank fodder, but not an end game weapon by any means, but good enough early game for sure. Don't get me wrong, it's good for like an earlier game weapon. MR8 requirement, whew. Yeah, I guess I never realized how much status this thing has, but interesting weapon overall, but still MR fodder for me and a lot of other people. So that's Nightwave this week, not too bad. Let me know how caught up on Nightwave you are. I, again, need to do a whole stream where I just catch up. I feel like people are probably around maybe rank 20 to 25 by now. Like, if people are getting the HEMA mod, good shit, because it looks pretty strong, but
coming up
hey,
next.
I'm not 100% sure. If we take a look now over at the Warframe 1999 weekly, we'll quickly take a look, kill enemies, you can do that on any like quick survival, right? Arcanes or Forma blueprint, I would just choose the Forma blueprint or Arcane for Vosper, it's up to you. Kill Scaldra troops with the melee, just run an Exterminate for that one. Ooh, Violet Archon Shard. The Violet Archon Shard. Sorry, can't stop yawning. That's what happens when it's end of night and I want to go to bed. 3-day affinity boost or Violet Archon Shard. I would definitely go with the Archon Shard because A, it's double Archon Shard, like a mixed one, and B, those are kind of impossible to get regularly. Increased power strength, like ability strength, gas status, or melee crit. I'd probably go with a Hex Boost Override on that one. Kill 300 melee weapon enemies, well, enemies with melee weapon, so do a survival for that one. Infested's always faster. 3-day resource booster or a Forma. 3-day resource drop chance booster is probably better if you plan to play the game a good chunk, but Forma is better if you just kind of want something quickly and you're like kind of busy this weekend. It's up to you though. Hex Factor Override for heavy melee attacks, trigger javelin radial within 3 meters, 1000 damage scaling both with combo multiplier. Every 10 shots add 10 blast stacks on hit, and then every 5th ability cast applies magnetic status effect to enemies in front of you. I would do the Quincy one for the general gunplay. Then it's Amir's birthday. Kill 250 Tekron, you should do that one on a survival as well. And then Kuva or Arcane, I would choose Kuva, but it really doesn't matter too much on that one. If we see here, kill 500 enemies with abilities, good. Oh shit, Omniforma Blueprint, grab that. Or I guess 3-day mod drop chance booster if you really want to farm up some mods. I would grab the Omniforma Blueprint, they're kind of a pain to get. Chemistry, skip birthday for Flare, so wish Flare a happy birthday, nailed it. Scaldra troops with abilities, so you just have to kill 250 Scaldra troops. Take your Dante or whatever you want to use to kill them, go to a survival, and murder the shit out of them. Practice precision, broaden horizons, or espresso shot. I'd probably choose espresso shot or the energy pickup increase ability range one, because it's nice having more range. And then lastly, you'd want to choose the Exilus Warframe adapter from this one, because those are kind of a pain in the ass to get, and they don't drop that often, so yeah. Okay, cool. We're probably halfway or so done now, so let's go check out what's going on Deimos, Sanctum Anatomica. That will be Bird 3 Archon Shard, as well as a quick Elite Deep Archimedea rundown. Elite Deep Archimedea is the weekly endgame, one of the game modes at least, where you can get some Archon Shards, get some good endgame loot, and then live happily ever after. Crimson Archon Shard is the Bird 3 Shiny Treasure. Pick that up if you want, or I guess if you don't want to, don't bother. It's up to you as always. And daily reminder, if you want to support the channel, you can also check out my Fortnite YouTube channel, Pupsker FN, where I mainly just post a lot of YouTube shorts and random stuff going over the game and whatnot. So, hey, thank you. Play a lot of games, okay? I can't only spam the main channel. So, for this week, Elite Archimedea, we have Survival, Mirror Defense, Assassination. Looks like I have my personal modifiers, Fractured Armor, Transference, Distortion, Abbreviated Abilities. Ammo deficit. Okay, So for the survival, not terrible I hope. Life support tower delivery systems disabled. Necromech spawn at 90 seconds, drops 6 life support modules when killed. I actually don't mind that one. Enemies' health slowly regenerates, that can be a pain. Slow moving immortal to very limitless, drain health and energy from allies get too close. Yeah, that one's not terrible. Regular mirror defense. Glyph inflation. The security system requires twice as many Vosphine glyphs to activate. Okay, mirror defense is going to be the hardest one this week probably. Slow moving immortal to very limitless, drain health and energy, cool. And then Guardian Eximus units may be encountered, including Guardian Eximus Necromechs. So scary stuff there. Then we have the assassination. The fragmented tide never stop attacking. That's actually useful. Enemies will only take damage if a player is within 15 meters of them. Kinda sucks, but it's not a big deal. Just have to be close enough to the boss. And then all enemies have overguard equal to 50% of their max health. So they'll be a little tankier, but like it's not that bad, right? So I'd say pretty good assassination mission, mirror defense survival. Let me know what you think if you're gonna have a struggle or not. Next up, we'll go to Teshin and then Acrithis. Teshin on any relay, Acrithis is in the Zerman, so let's teleport on over there. So now that we're at a relay, we can quickly fast travel on over to your boy Teshin, and we can see Teshin usually has some more minimal stuff from ribbons, steel path honors. We see primary, secondary arcane adapters as always, but we can get a rifle ribbon mod with the Veiled Ribbon Cipher this week. And it looks like that's about it. So rifle ribbon mod there. And I will also bring up, since it's just kind of Teshin and Iron Wake where you can get a bunch of ribbons, remember to go to Earth Iron Wake as well in order to get a bunch of ribbons, because you can buy 2, possibly 3, can't really remember, I think it's 2 though, weekly ribbons at Iron Wake with ribbon slivers if you need to. So Acrithis is located over here on the Dorma Zone in the Zeraman. She is the vendor for the Warframe, Warframe Duviri's Paradox vendor. And she usually actually has some good high tier loot, since Duviri Paradox is more of a recent, more endgame update, if you will. So if we browse her wares, she has a secondary arcane adapter, okay. All of her regular stuff like Duviri Bush, right? Just general cosmetics, Forma Blueprint, Melee Ribbon Mod, Primary Arcane Adapter, Primary Obstruct, not bad, Kuva, and then just these potted plants and everything. They swap out pretty consistently, so Melee Ribbon, Melee Ribbon Mod. Did I say rifle? I meant melee if I said rifle. I think previous one was rifle, right? Little mods there, swap out daily, but that is the weekly loot as of right now for Acrithis. So if you want to grab some arcanes from her because you ran a lot of Duviri, go for it. I usually do once in a while, but I don't think I need any this time. So now if I leave my Dorma Zone and go straight to Warframe 1999 Mall, where Kaya Velasco is, we'll see that Elite Temporal Archimedea probably has some decent stuff. You know, probably. Elite Temporal Archimedea is the same as Elite Deep Archimedea, it's just Warframe 1999 version of that. So if we look at Temporal Archimedea, we can see this week my modifiers are Untreatable, Gear Embargo, Secondary Wounds, and Fractured Armor. A little bit of a pain, I might get my ass kicked, whatever. Starting off though, we have Legasite Harvest. As the Legasite evolves, other enemies present also gain new abilities. Murmur enemies join ranks with Scaldra and the Tech Rod, so they'll just, all spawn to beat you up. Jade Wisps haunt the region. If approached, they chase down the player responsible, transform into Jade Light Beams. So yeah, a little bit of a pain. Legasites aren't the worst though, so you should be okay. Just make sure to kill them fast if you can. Like once you're on them, just kill them. Now, Exterminate, Cache Crash. Consequences of opening a supply cache are active from the start and will intensify once it is opened. Failure to open a supply cache doubles the kill count required to finish the mission. So I would recommend you go to that cache really fast to make sure you don't mess it up, but up to you. Miasmite Swarm. Tekrot Miasmite swarm out of the shadows throughout the missions, not bad. And then all enemies have overguard equal to 50% of their max health. So it should be pretty simple there. And then lastly, Assassination. only Thermian RPGs can damage the tank. Reinforcements that carry Thermian RPGs will arrive during the fight. That one's pretty normal. I don't think it's usually too terrible unless it has like different modifiers that make it hard to kill and even longer. Random negative penalties from Amir Nawi's face-off mode will be applied throughout the mission. And then enemies deal negative 15% damage, take plus 15% damage, but gain 15% movement speed, attack speed, and fire rate. So enemies will be like a little stronger there, and it might be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but in regards to that, it shouldn't be too terrible, like only a little bit. So yeah, that is Warframe weekly update, Warframe's 1999, Velasco Elite Deep Archimedea, Temporal Archimedea, sorry, and everything around there. So yeah. Pretty chill week until Friday, everybody, but that's usually how it is. We did just have Hildren Prime and Wisp Prime re-release in Prime Resurgence, because of course Wisp Prime would re-release in Prime Resurgence right before Proto-Wisp skin comes out in another like 2 weeks, so makes sense. Either way, let me know what you think of Warframe's weekly reset. As always, sub-like to support your boy. You can use Epic Games creator code Pupsker, and if there's any specific videos you want out of me, let me know, as it's getting end of year, and with the new update coming soon, I'll probably be making and streaming a lot more Warframe when that hits. So thank you all so much for joining. Cheers.